Yo, what's up guys? Scap here. Coming back to you to address yet again my one-on-one debate with Gilbert Arenas. For those of you who did not know or missed it, I recently had the opportunity to sit down and debate the three-time NBA All-Star Gilbert Arenas one-on-one on a number of topics, most of them though surrounding Kobe Bryant, whether he was or was not carried by Shaquille O'Neal for 3 NBA championships, and Kobe versus LeBron. If any of you happen to miss part 1 of my coverage on this topic, I'm going to link it here below in the comments section. It's also right above here. I think I could slide it in post-production. If not, I'm just gonna look stupid pointing up there, but it should be right up there. If not, it will be in the comments section below, as will links to the full 5-hour live stream where Gil and I went one-on-one. I will be linking it in 2 different places, one on FYF Sports Debates platform. Shout out to him for putting this together. And I will also be linking it on No Chill Gil, which was Gilbert Arenas' platform. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time setting this thing up since I did so in that part 1 episode, which I referenced just a minute ago. But in that part 1 episode, I primarily focused on Kobe versus Shaq for those first 3 title runs. I'm going to see if I could expand the conversation in this second episode. But before we begin, I just want to point out that in the one-on-one debate between Gilbert and myself, I will have a red shirt on. Whereas if I'm making any commentary or reactions to the debate, I will have this black polo shirt on. I will also separate those segments with like a little stop sign because there wasn't really any fact checking during the live debate. So I just want to sprinkle that additional context in. As any of you who did watch the first episode know, I ended the last episode with a little live fact check on Gil about what kind of defense Kobe was playing after Shaquille O'Neal left town in LA.
And then when Shaq left, he wasn't rated in the top 25. He wasn't rated, he was ranked 20.
First team All-NBA for like 6 more years after Shaq left.
Once he got Gasol, once he got somebody who understood.
No, Gilbert, no. In 2005, 2006, when Kobe Bryant was leading the NBA in scoring fact check me, at 35.4 points per game. Look it up right now. 2005, 2006, Kobe Bryant was first team All-NBA defense. Was he not?
Yeah.
And since that is where I left off at the end of episode 1, I would like to pick up right there to begin episode 2. But before I do, I just wanted to thank all of you for being here, for tuning in and supporting me, and for subscribing to me. If, however, any of you are not subscribed, please consider doing so at this time. I greatly appreciate it. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started with Skap versus Gil one-on-one.
Right? A number 1 needs a perfect number 2 to win at any level in this game. If you go with anybody and you say who is the number 1 option, Jokic is the best in the NBA. Who takes shots at the end of the game? Who takes all the big shots? Murray. No one.
Ball. Do you want to compare their clutch time scoring this year, Murray and Jokic?
Scap, you got to concede to that one. That is true, though.
Because he hits a couple big shots in playoff games. Was Robert Horry the big closer for the Lakers? He just hit some big shots. They design action for Jamal Murray, and he hits big shots.
No, he takes big shots because he's creating the offense, right? He is in the last 5 minutes of the game, he becomes the main focal point with Jokic. Jokic carries the team 43 minutes, and then him and Murray kind of switches.
Murray gets the bulk of his action in late game situations because Jokic is creating it for him, which is the same case as, look, you're treating Kobe Bryant, hold on, you're treating Kobe Bryant like he's John Paxson or Robert Horry, like or Ray Allen in the corner for LeBron. That's not what Kobe was. Kobe was in isolation, creating shots, and he was leading the way down the stretch in those clutch moments in the first 3 title runs.
Do you want to?
It's not the same.
Do you want to watch some games? Because because Jokic making passes. Right?
How are we diverting to Jokic from Kobe? Okay, I want to stop it right here because Gil diverted down the path of Nikola Jokic and tried to compare. I'm trying to get away from the conversation of Shaq and Kobe. I want to get it to Kobe and LeBron, but a quick other roadblock here, an impediment along my way to getting to my point, is Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. But sure, let's go ahead and sprinkle some Jokic slander on top of the Kobe slander Sunday, two of Gil's favorite topics. So since he brought it up, and since the moderator was not doing any fact checking, because look, both of these guys had their laptops up for the entirety of this debate, I'm going off the top of my head. So let's go ahead and really dig into Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray in the clutch. I asked in the live debate there if you wanted to review the clutch stats for this season. Nobody wanted to. So let's go ahead and look at it right now. And this year in clutch time, that is defined by a game in the final 5 minutes within 5 points or less. Nikola Jokic is second in the NBA in clutch time scoring with 78 points, just 1 point below De'Aaron Fox, who leads the NBA with 79. Also, during this clutch time, Jokic is second in the NBA in assists with 17 currently. That is while Jamal Murray is currently sitting at 33rd in the NBA with just 33 points in clutch time on 11 of 26 shooting. Jokic, meanwhile, is shooting 27 of 50 during those times, which is 54%, and the highest shooting percentage of anyone in the top 10 for clutch time scoring this season. So Jokic is more than doubling Jamal Murray this season in clutch time scoring, 78 points to 33. But not just that, Jokic has shot 50 attempts during that time as compared to Murray's 26. So Nikola Jokic has attempted twice the amount of shots in clutch time this season than Jamal Murray, while he has scored more than twice the amount of points in clutch time than Jamal Murray, and yet they kind of switch.
Jokic carries the team 43 minutes, and then him and Murray kind of switches.
And yet, we're trying to compare that to Kobe and Shaq. But in the 2001 NBA playoffs, which Gil and I are going back and forth about during this time of our debate, look at the clutch time scoring between Shaq and Kobe. In those situations during that playoff run, Kobe Bryant outscored Shaq 26-9 while outshooting Shaq 7 of 15 as compared to Shaq's 4 for 10. Not just that, but I went over this in episode 1 of this series. Look at the fourth quarter scoring in total between Shaq and Kobe during the 2001 and 2002 postseason. As you can see, it wasn't just during the clutch. It wasn't in the last 5 minutes. It wasn't in the last 2 minutes. It was for the entire fourth quarter. For the entire fourth quarter, Kobe Bryant was the option 1A during the Lakers' second and third NBA Finals runs during the early 2000s. And it is clear Nikola Jokic is the go-to guy this season in the clutch. But I know many of you out there will be pointing to the 2023 title run and claiming that Jamal Murray was the go-to guy during that postseason. So let's go ahead and take a look at clutch scoring during the 2023 playoffs, where Nikola Jokic was second in the postseason in total clutch time scoring with 33 points, while Jamal Murray was sixth in those playoffs with 20 points. Jokic again outshot Murray substantially during those times, 28 shot attempts to 11. So any which way you want to point it, any way you want to look at it, Nikola Jokic is the go-to guy in clutch, just like Kobe was the go-to guy, not just in clutch during that second and third title run, but during the entire fourth quarters.
Let me ask you a question. If Kobe Bryant was the number one option in your mind, then why would he then want to use his leverage in 04 to get rid of him?
Because he was tired of people like you back then presenting a ridiculous narrative that he can't win without Shaq. That's true. Kobe, look, you bring up people, you text people that say this, whatever. Kobe Bryant was on the record saying, I never cared when people were saying that I couldn't do it without Shaq. But when Shaq started thinking that too, is when it really started to get to me, because in his mind, they were just co-best players. And hold on, one more thing.
There's no such thing as co. There's always.
You just said earlier, when we started this conversation, you said Kareem and Magic were. You said it.
But I don't know.
Go back and look at it.
No career.
You said, "Oh, I don't know. Sometimes it was Kareem, sometimes it was Magic."
Depending on the years, I don't know. But I don't know their careers like that. I was in the moment. I was in the league. I had the game plan for these guys. I was in the Western Conference. I played them 4 times. I know what the game plan was, right? I talked to the guys in the Western. I know what the game plan was.
Okay, Gil, let me ask you this. Hold on. Let me ask you this. Since you know the game plan so much because you talk to these guys like off the record in these secret text chats, can you tell me what Bruce Bowen says about Kobe Bryant? Because I'm going to make a video and I'm going to put up exactly what Bruce Bowen said about Kobe Bryant. And just for those of you
in 2000, 2001, and 2002,
for the listeners out there who don't know who Bruce Bowen is, he was a perennial Defensive Player of the Year finalist for the dynastic mid-2000s Spurs. So a guy that was defending the wing on the perimeter, who was a Defensive Player of the Year finalist for like 5 or 6 years. He played in the late 90s against Jordan. He played in the early and mid 2000s against Kobe.
They know who, Bill. They know who he is.
Played against LeBron. And go find it. Please look it up. Just Google, all of you, Bruce Bowen's comments on Kobe Bryant. He says that Kobe is the second greatest player in NBA history behind only Jordan. It's Jordan and then it's Kobe. So that is what this whole conversation to me boils down to, why I'm defending the veracity of these 3 rings, because I think that they do not delegitimize Kobe taking the place as the number 2 greatest player of all time, whereas you, Gil, and a whole lot of other Kobe haters out there like to say, oh no, he can't. We just have to dismiss Kobe as a case for number 2. We have to dismiss Kobe over LeBron because of Shaq, because he had Shaq on the 3.
Can I ask you one question, Scap?
Insane. Now, I just want to stop this real quick and point out that I hate to just boil this all down to he said kind of stuff. But earlier in the debate, which you could see if you go ahead and look at the link below in the comment field here, Gil is just routinely reading off things. He's saying, oh, well, I played in the game. I asked so-and-so, I texted so-and-so. So he's essentially dismissing all of my context with the fact that he played in the NBA and the fact that he asked all these guys. So that's why I go ahead and slip in my own context from someone like a Bruce Bowen, who seems like a pretty credible source because he played with Tim Duncan, he played against Jordan, as I highlighted, against LeBron, against Kobe, and as I referenced that I was going to make a video, this is the video, and I was going to slide it in. So let's go ahead and see exactly what Bruce Bowen had to say on this topic.
But at the same time, I'm going with all the things that Kobe, when we talk about that number 1 and 2, yes, Kobe is very much like Michael Jordan as far as how he played the game, the way he attacked. LeBron was more, I think he's one of the greatest individuals, especially with his vision and making others better. But I just have Kobe above LeBron in that aspect of things. He should be number 2. And Bill Russell, we know, Magic, we know. And then that Tim Duncan.
If he's better than every number 1 since 2000, I'm saying since the first Lakers title, 99-2000, if he's better in 2001 than every single number 1 option since then until right now today, practically, other than maybe Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo, other than maybe those 2, which I didn't run their numbers, other than those 2, every number 1 option that's won a title, Kobe was better than them in 2001. So whatever you want to call him, my point to you is, how are we taking points and crediting off for him winning those 3 rings, Gil? I think that's what it boils down to. Why do you get to say that those 3 rings don't count while all of LeBron's 4 count, all of Magic's 5 count, but not all of Kobe's? That's my overall issue and question. I don't give a damn what you want to call it. Second, Robin, whatever. What I'm saying is he's got 5 rings. And those, at least 2 of the 5 are every bit as good as any number one's ring this century, period. So he has, at the very least, 4 legitimate rings, and 2 of those rings are the best 2 we've seen this century. That's why I put him up at number 2 all time. But people like you will say, oh, he can't be because he had Shaq, because LeBron didn't have Shaq. But LeBron had 2 perennial All-Stars and Hall of Famers on 3 of his 4 title runs.
That helped him get 4 rings, right? So you discredit.
And Anthony Davis.
But what I'm saying is you discredit his 4, but you want to. So if you're going to discredit, you got to do it across the board. Kobe's 2, you have him 2, I have him 3. That's our opinion at that moment in time. But there is a top 75 list that ranked everybody.
But Gil, I saw you in comments today saying Shaq is better than Kobe. Like Shaq is considered better than Kobe.
In 2000, 2001, 2000.
No, for his career, from a career standpoint.
No, I'm only talking about that time. I know who became the god, right? I know that. I'm talking about in this moment in time, who was the number 1 option. I was being an asshole because because Nick is a Kobe fan, Rashad is a Kobe fan. So instead of me saying 1B, I just turned 1B into sidekick, right? Just like the Jokic thing, right? When I said 3-time MVP is the worst, instead of ranking him 5th, I just used the word worst because it makes people mad. Knowing if we didn't add all the people, Jordan, Magic, Bird, LeBron, and Jokic, he's gonna rank at this moment in time 5th. When I said it 2 years ago, 5th, right? I just used the word worse, right? It's 5th, right? No matter how we slice it and dice it, right now Jokic is 5th, and he's gonna eventually move up, and most likely if he wins another MVP, people will be arguing that he's better than Bird or Magic, and then you can move him to 4th. Then I gotta say Magic is the worst, or Bird is the worst. I'll figure out how to word it, but it's trigger words that I use to irritate people because that's entertainment.
So you're admitting to intentionally just trying to aggravate people by utilizing these intentionally, I'm just going to say, insulting words like, second option or bus rider or carried or Robin. Like, you're doing that intentionally just to trigger people.
No, facts. No, because I know if I told you Kobe was 1B, you're going to accept that because we accept you put 1B instead of 2, right? So I know that's how that works, right? Nobody wants to be 2, so hey, I'm 1A, I'm 1B, right? But I know, okay, well, 1B is still number 2. You just don't want to use the word number 2. So
I would present it like this. The way many people try to paint Kobe and Shaq's pairing is in a Jordan and Pippen type conversation. I look at Kobe and Shaq the same way I look at Kareem and Magic. They're just 2 all-time great elite lead players. Period. And those are the only 2 in NBA history. Pippen was significantly beneath Jordan. Like, look at any other example you can come up with. Kobe is not significantly below Shaquille O'Neal, just like Kareem or Magic was not significantly below the other player. Therefore, I view them in a Kareem Magic kind of a setting, not in a Jordan Pippen setting. But that's the way Kobe, for some reason, I'm not saying you're not doing that, but many people do paint Kobe as like a Pippen figure, which is outrageous to me.
No, he wasn't. Like, but see, that's what I'm saying. You're thinking about Kobe's totality, not the 20-year-old who's still trying to find his way. Like, we're talking about that guy. We're not talking about 03 to 2016. We're not talking about that guy. We know who that man was, right? We're talking about the 96 to the 02. We see the glimpses. We see the spurts, then we seen, okay, he can take over. And then we're going to be like, okay, shit. After the 2000 championship, we're like, well, he might be number 1 now, right? But you got to remember, at some point before he goes to number 1, he has to be number 2. I know no one wants to accept it. But
he was number 2 in 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000. And then In the middle title, he ascended. And to me, he transcended being called a number 2 option or a Robin or a sidekick. He just did. He got to, because you can't differentiate Kareem and Magic. You just think of them both as 2 lead guys. That's how I think of Shaq and Kobe after the first title.
But that's just an opinion. Just like when we talk about Steph Curry and KD, right? Both elite, but they were both prime at the time where wasn't a guy where one was priming and one was getting into his own. They both was prime at the same time, but there was a number 1 option and there was a number 2 option, right? No one's going to argue that Steph took a back seat when KD got there. You can argue it, right? It's going to be our opinion at that point, but KD was the go-to guy when he got there, and Curry took a back seat to KD. For a little bit.
Many would fundamentally reject that premise that Curry intentionally played a different way to make the team dynamic work, and that his on-off metrics and whenever he was out of games for a stretch versus KD, that they suffered much more without Curry than without KD. But the difference there though is KD was outscoring Curry through every stage of the playoffs, and KD was the go-to guy in the fourth quarters. He was the closer. That's more of a murky, to me, it's a fairly murky situation, just like the Kobe Shaq situation. And in hindsight, retroactively looking at KD's career, he hasn't won shit without Curry. He too has had a lot of good teams. He too has had a lot of good supporting casts around him, and he hasn't won a damn thing outside of Steph Curry. Steph Curry has. He's got 2 without KD. Okay, so I just want to shut this down real quick and highlight the fact that I view the pairing of Kevin Durant and Steph Curry in the same light as Kobe and Shaq or Kareem and Magic. Just 2 elite, high-level, lead-like players. Now, I said I want to fact-check some things throughout the course of this debate, and despite the fact that I know a lot of this stuff off the top of my head, and I very well researched, and I retain a lot of the things that I research, not even I am above fact-checking. I said in there that Kevin Durant led the Warriors in scoring during the clutch times of the fourth quarter, and quite frankly, that is not right. If we look at the 2016-2017 championship, that was the first year, Steph Curry actually outscored Kevin Durant in clutch time 21-14, both of them shooting outrageously high percentages. Curry 6 of 8 from the field and Durant 5 of 6. So while that is close and they both shot exceptionally, Curry only took 2 more attempts. I just wanted to point out that Gil was wrong, I was wrong. Steph Curry was the guy in the clutch during that first title run, and the same thing is, again, marginally true of the second title run in 2017-2018, where Steph Curry, again, barely outscores Durant 16 points to 15 points in the clutch. Curry was much better shooting, though, during this time of the game, 6 of 11 as compared to Durant's 3 of 10. But yeah, as we see, they both shot about the same number of shots. They scored about the same number of points. So again, this is very close. And if we're looking at the on-off metrics, Curry significantly outpaced Durant during the 2017 finals as he added plus 20.5 points per 100 possessions he was on the floor, while Durant was only at plus 6. Now, during that 2018 championship, the dynamic shifted a little bit, and Durant actually added more points per 100 possessions during that second title run, with KD adding plus 10.7 points per 100 possessions he was on the floor versus Curry's plus 3.8. Now, despite the fact this is pretty close, and despite the fact Kevin Durant got both of those finals MVPs, most people now, in hindsight, just dismiss Kevin Durant and credit Steph Curry for all of those championships, all 4 of his, including the 2 that he had with Durant. Yet for some reason, in hindsight, it's Kobe that is routinely getting dismissed and diminished, despite the fact that Kobe was the one that was leading the fourth quarter in scoring, leading in the last 5 minutes in scoring, leading the last 2 minutes, and he was leading the Lakers in assists at that time. He was the best defensive perimeter player in the NBA, and all of that while the scoring was very close. with Kobe scoring like 1 or 2 points less overall than Shaq during that run. And this is why I keep trying to get it to a larger conversation on the overall careers, their overall legacies. It's because there's this great push to elevate LeBron over Kobe, and I frankly just don't think LeBron ever got there. My overall premise, Gil, the overall point I'm trying to make against you, against the panel, against anyone that might ever possibly watch this, is that Kobe's performance on those 3 title runs with Shaq does not, and the fact that he had Shaq on those teams does not delegitimize those titles in any way. It does not impair or hinder his conversation and his overall hierarchical ranking from an all-time list standpoint. It just doesn't. That is my point. You try to say, oh, well, he had Shaq, so he can't be above LeBron. He can't be number 2 because he had Shaq. My point is, if he is that good, if he's better than several other number 1 options on that team, what does it matter from a semantic standpoint of how you wish to define it? What does it matter? He's better in 3 of his final runs. He's better in 1 of those final runs as a second option than 3 of LeBron's 4 titles. So, and then look at Kobe's 2 titles with Gasol. They're significantly better than LeBron's all 4 of his titles. That is why I put Kobe above LeBron, and all I hear, including from you, is that he had Shaq. That's essentially your only argument.
That was everybody. That's everybody's argument. But it's a fact. You don't like the fact, right? No matter what you say, and you say these 3 rings don't matter, it does, because it has him as a ring. With 5 rings, he is ranked on the top 75 list, number 10, for a reason.
I don't care what some arbitrary list of writers ranks someone.
Who is better? Who's a better player? Allen Iverson or Klay Thompson?
Obviously, Allen Iverson.
Okay. James Harden or Klay Thompson?
I mean, I would probably Harden's got the league MVP, so I'd have to say Harden.
Okay, so you have one that's sitting with 4 rings. Now, these 4 rings, he was never the lead dog, so they do not value them as real rings. Now, if he was the lead dog during those rings, obviously we wouldn't even be asking this. But because 2 of those rings, he was a silver player, and the other 2, he was a bronze, that doesn't put him in front of no option 1.
See, this is my exact point, Gil. This is my exact point. He was substantially beneath the other guys. He was substantially below Curry, and then he was substantially below both Curry and Durant on 2 of them. Substantially. My whole point and premise of this is that Kobe is not substantially beneath Shaq. He's right there. They're right like this. That's the point. You're bringing up Klay Thompson, who is a significantly below the 1 guy, and then was a 3rd option on 2. It's a joke comparison. My comparison would be Kobe and Kareem. That would be the comparison. Kobe and Kareem.
But what I'm saying is, during that moment in time, it was. It
wasn't, though.
Use the stats the way you're supposed to. Like, do the metrics on their whole playoff career since Kobe came in. It's a big difference on who was number 1, who was number 2. If you do the stats where they just won the championship,
yeah,
there's a difference.
You mean when they were getting swept every year with 2 other all-star guards in Nick Van Exel and Eddie Jones? You mean compare those stats? Sure. Yeah, when Shaq had 2 other all-star guards and was getting swept in the playoffs every year. Yeah, okay, you got me, Gil. Kobe's numbers don't look as good then. But when Kobe ascended to become Kobe Bryant, magically Shaq stopped getting swept, and they won 3 consecutive championships, which is only the 3rd three-peat in modern NBA history. Since 1976 merger point, when the ABA and the NBA merged, there's been exactly three three-peats. Jordan twice, Shaq and Kobe, that's it. Because Jordan is significantly the GOAT, so he was able to do it twice. And then the reason the Lakers could do it wasn't because Shaq was significantly better than Kobe. It's because the 2 of them were the 2 best players in the NBA for those last 2 rings. Kobe was the best front court player, and Shaq was the best backcourt player. Period. That's what I'm telling you. Shaq and Kobe is Kareem and Magic. It ain't Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, my guy. Okay, I just had to stop here. I think I did a pretty good job of dispelling of his "I got you" moment there in live debate, but I just wanted to pause here and emphasize the insanity of trying to draw some kind of a correlation between Kobe Bryant and Klay Thompson. First of all, Klay Thompson's best playoff run, if you want to look at it in terms of just scoring and points per game, was the 2017-2018 NBA playoffs, where he was in fact the third leading scorer for the entirety of that postseason. That would be the second ring with KD there. Klay Thompson scored 19.6 points per game, averaged 4.1 rebounds, and 1.8 assists. Mind you, that was in a much different looking NBA than the one Kobe was in 2001, and yet go ahead and take a look at what Kobe Bryant did during that postseason run. During those respective runs, Klay Thompson accounted for 17.5% of the Warriors' total offense, whereas Kobe Bryant accounted for 28.5% of the Lakers' total offense. Just an absolute ludicrous comparison here. In the last episode 1 of this series, where I highlighted some things between Gil and I talk about Kobe Bryant's 2001 run as the alleged second option or sidekick, and compare that to several of the number one options that we've seen this century, most notably LeBron James. And I highlight the fact that in 2001, Kobe Bryant outscored LeBron for 3 of LeBron's 4 title runs and scored a higher percentage of the team's total output than in 3 of LeBron's 4 title runs, highlighting essentially that Kobe Bryant was as good as virtually any number one option this century back in the 2001 and 2 championship runs with Shaq, and yet Gil wants to come at me with Klay Thompson. Absolutely ridiculous.
When LeBron James came into the NBA, right, his team was bad, right?
I mean, they had the best record twice in the entire league.
Exactly, with a bad team, right? The team was bad, and he turned the franchise over overnight. So you have a 20-year-old. You can laugh all you want, and they can laugh. He takes this team to the finals, right? Yeah, he gets swept, but he took the team to the finals. When Kobe got rid of Shaq, and Kobe said, "I want to show the world who I am." Okay, oh shit, Kobe about to go bananas. During Kobe's banana run, LeBron James was right behind him. He wasn't far behind him. He was there. He was making noise during Kobe Bryant's reign as the king. He won 2 MVPs during Kobe Bryant's reign on the NBA. Kobe won the MVP. LeBron James stopped him from going back to back. LeBron James went back to back. Who stopped him was Derrick Rose, and then then LeBron won back to back again. When Kobe averaged 35, and they said it should have been Kobe's MVP, LeBron James was runner-up. Actually, it was LeBron James was runner-up. So when they both had bad teams, one turned their team over faster. So I watched a young kid be dominant during the same time Kobe was supposed to take over. Then when LeBron jumped Kobe for who's the best player in the league, it's still going. So when LeBron won when he came back and won the Cavs, that's when I had 2017 when LeBron won that chip in Cavs. That's when I put LeBron in front of Kobe. So it wasn't like from the beginning. It was around when he won the Cavs championship. I was like, I can put him at 3 then. I gotta respect the greatness of what I'm seeing. But before that, it was Jordan, Kobe, and it was Jordan, Kobe, Shaq, Magic. Like LeBron wasn't there. LeBron was creeping, but I had him passing him in 2017. Even though the NBA had him passed, they had LeBron passing Kobe in 2014-15 season.
I'd like to respond here. The
Okay.
reason I will never have LeBron over Kobe, the reason Kobe will forever be above LeBron is because LeBron did come in the league to immense fanfare. He was, I think, given things at an early stage, and that's not, I'm not saying awards necessarily, but just media support. And LeBron, I mean, say what you will about the team. Like, he was the #1 seed in the NBA playoffs, was the league MVP, got bounced from the playoffs. Look, no shame in Boston, but lost to the Orlando Magic as the #1 seed with essentially just Dwight Howard. In those 2 seasons, hold on, let me finish here. In those 2 seasons, Kobe Bryant won the NBA championship, defeating the 2 teams that beat LeBron. Now, this is my overall disdain with the whole conversation. You can say, let's dismiss Kobe's 3 Shaq rings, which, fine, let's do it. I would say let's dismiss all 4 of LeBron's, though, and then Kobe's got at least the 2. LeBron has never proven. LeBron has never proven that he could take a team with significantly diminished pieces, like the Pau Gasol team, and win a title. He went from Cleveland after failing back-to-back years as the #1 seed to team up with Dwayne Wade, who was a top 3 player in the NBA, Gil. Say what you will. He was top 3 in every analytical metric that year. He was 5th in league MVP. He was first team All-NBA. He was first team All-NBA defense. I'm sorry, second team All-NBA defense that year. He finished 3rd in MVP the year before that. He won a finals MVP. It was Dwayne Wade. It was Kobe, LeBron, Wade at that time. He went to that guy's team and then recruited Chris Bosh, who the year that they recruited Bosh, the year prior, he averaged 24 points and 11 rebounds per game. That became their 3rd option. So LeBron, who was apparently nipping at Kobe's heels and was already like allegedly ascending to all-time levels, needed to go team up with a top 3 player league-wide in his city in a weak conference that was maybe the primary competition, completely disband that competition by going and bring in a 24-11 guy as the 3rd option. That was his 2 rings. Then he went, after he lost in 14, he goes back to Cleveland, and everyone will dismiss the fact that that was a super team. It was an ascending Kyrie, it was an ascending Kyrie Irving, who was coming off of an All-Star appearance. They then, do you remember what was going on in the NBA draft that season? It was the Riggin for Wiggins. Like, that is how highly sought after Andrew Wiggins was in that NBA draft. The Cavaliers won the draft lottery, traded the #1 overall pick to Minnesota to bring Kevin Love in. That's how good Kevin Love was. He was 24, 13, and 4 that year. He was top 3 in VORP, BPM, win share. He was 2nd team All-NBA. That was their 3rd option. That became LeBron's 3rd ring. So LeBron has super teams for his top three wins. Then he goes to LA, and for the first time in his career, he does not have a super 3rd option. But he does have Anthony Davis, who again in 2019-2020, look it up, AD, 1st team All-NBA, 1st team All-NBA defense, 2nd defensive player of the year, 5th league MVP, or maybe 6th league MVP. Led the postseason that year in win shares and in scoring. So you say Kobe didn't prove that he could do it the hard way when he won 3 with Shaq. Fine, agreed. LeBron's never proven he could do it. Kobe did it twice at least. That's why LeBron will never move above. Because in 23 years of all of the individual excellence and stats and advanced analytics, he has 4 rings, period. And they were all with elite supporting cast. Okay, so I'm just going to shut it down here because that is my overall point. That is my overall premise, that LeBron will never move above Kobe. He can't, because he has never proven that he can win the challenging championships that Kobe proved that he could win 2 times. And I would like to dig more into that and review a little bit more of this footage between Gil and I. We are only at about the 2 hour and 15 mark. We go one-on-one for probably about 3 to 3.5 hours before other callers get in. But for now, this is getting a little long in the tooth, so I want to just shut it down. Again, though, I want to thank all of you for coming out, supporting me, for tuning in, and for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, though, yet again, another shameless plug, because guys, I am striving for the 100,000 subscriber mark. I want to hit it in this calendar year of 2025. So if you aren't subscribed and if you enjoy my content, please go ahead and do so now. You can, of course, keep an eye out for possibly part 3 in this little series. And of course, keep an eye out for all of my other videos. Until next time.